Our junior senator for the state of Texas, Ted Cruz. How are you, friend?
Sergio, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Now, did you turn down the high court possibility of a high court appointment because you're going to run for president after Donald Trump is reelected? Or what's going on with you?
Well, I want to stay in the political arena. It's a good judge stays out of politics, stays out of policy. If I were a judge, that's what I'd do. I want to stay out of politics or policy.
Yeah, you got to stay in there and make sure the Democrats don't pack the court with a bunch of libs. Can you believe what they're saying? They're openly saying, Hirono the other day, Senator Hirono saying, yeah, we've been thinking about it, and they're openly saying that they want to pack the court.
It's where they are. If they take power, they'll do it.
My goodness. I want to ask you what has been on everybody's mind at the water cooler, the debate.
Sure.
Look, I woke up at 2 o'clock. I didn't see it. I wanted to sleep. I had to make up on sleep. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning to see it because everybody was going to have it, so I saw the whole thing. And then I compared it with opinions online. I'm going, did they see the same thing? What did they expect? That's Donald Trump. He's not a politician. You can't box Donald Trump in to a media format or a political format. That is who he is. He is real, and he's a leader. I thought he was super strong. I thought he owned the night. That's just my biased opinion. Wanted to get your take on it.
Well, I think it was a raucous battle. I think there were a lot of hard shots taken. I think there were some missed opportunities. I'm not sure the debate moved a whole lot of votes. I think if you went in supporting Trump, you left supporting Trump. And if you went in supporting Biden, you probably stayed where you were.
I think the proper debate would be that open format. You know how they say that Joe Rogan offered to be a moderator? Yep. Well, yeah, let Joe Rogan throw, just a little bit of red meat into the arena and let these two go at it. I think you get more in an honest, open conversation between these two than you would this tight format that is so rigid. And I saw a lot of gems in there, a lot of truth. He just kept fighting for position, elbowing in, and trying to get as much truth out there. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah, Wallace was a disastrous moderator. He was snide, and he was ineffective, and he was biased. But I think the single best moment for the president in the debate is when he clearly articulated that Biden wants to shut the economy down, shut small businesses down, shut schools down, and destroy jobs, and he wants to open up the economy and get people back to school and get people back to work. And I think that was a very important contrast that Biden was not effective in responding to.
As far as filling that open seat at the high court, at the moment, the Democrats, they just have to sit back, grin, and bear it, literally. But Judge Barrett on the way. You guys going to get this done before the election?
We are. I am confident that we will have the votes and that we will confirm Judge Barrett by the end of the month and before Election Day. I think it's critically important that we do so. As you know, I have a brand new book that came out yesterday on the Supreme Court, and it's called One Vote Away: How a Single Supreme Court Seat Can Change History. And what it does, it goes in depth into the critical constitutional issues before the court. And before I was in the Senate, I was a Supreme Court litigator. My job was to argue cases in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. And each chapter addresses a different constitutional liberty. And so there's a chapter on free speech, there's a chapter on religious liberty, there's a chapter on the Second Amendment, there's a chapter on democracy and elections, and in each of them, I tell war stories. I tell stories from behind the scenes, try to take readers behind the curtain to really understand what's happening at the court, who the justices are, and it's really stunning, Sergio, on issue after issue that are really fundamental in terms of our liberties as Americans. The landmark cases were decided 5-4, and many of them I helped litigate those cases. And that means we're just one vote away from losing our most precious freedoms, and that's really what I try to lay out and help people understand in a clear, simple, understandable way in the book One Vote Away.
Our junior senator of Texas, Ted Cruz, my guest, and he's author. New book, One Vote Away, focusing on how important your vote is when it comes to getting the correct right-thinking, liberty-minded ideas voted into Congress, into the Senate, that confirms, into the White House as well. Because I don't think, Senator, I really don't think, just based on voting trends, looking at my market, Deep South Texas, the Valley, all these so-called conservatives and all these deeply religious Catholics, they march at the Basilica pro-life, and then they go pull straight lever Democrat Party for the culture of death and infanticide and the radical changes in marriage and culture, all those things that, were they not listening to the preaching? Were they not listening to Padre when he was preaching this past? I don't know if the American electorate through the years has actually been introspective enough to realize what they've introduced into D.C., the radical changes in our culture, the culture wars. I think that it's maybe through providence and divine intervention that we've had this shifting of the political gears with Donald Trump and allowed conservatives and liberty-minded ideas to have a new day, a new birth, a new opportunity in Washington because of the election of the non-politician Donald Trump.
Well, I think you're right, and it's certainly correct that the Democratic Party has become radicalized, that it's the extreme left that's driving the party. Today's party is the party of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and AOC. And in South Texas, you look at the Hispanic community, our community has always been conservative. The values in our community is conservative. And today's Democratic Party, let's take, for example, the chapter in my book, One Vote Away, on religious liberty. If you look at where the Democrats are on religious liberty, I talk about the case that I defended the state of Texas, the Ten Commandments monument that's on the state capitol grounds. It's been there since 1961, and what happened is an individual plaintiff, an atheist who happens to be a homeless man, filed a lawsuit seeking to tear down the Ten Commandments monument, and the argument was you can't have the Ten Commandments on public land. It went to the Supreme Court, and we won 5-4. 4 justices were ready to order tear it down. I had another similar case defending the Mojave Desert Veterans Memorial, which is a white cross erected in the desert to honor the men and women who gave their lives in World War I. And the ACLU sued and said, you can't have a cross on public land. You can't even look at the image of a cross. They won in the district court. They won in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I represented 3 million veterans pro bono for free, defending that Veterans Memorial. Again, we won 5-4. 4 justices were ready to say, tear down that monument, tear down veterans memorials across this country, carve out, erase the crosses and stars of David on the tombstones at Arlington Cemetery. And that's radical, and it's dangerous, and those are the justices Joe Biden is pledging to appoint, are the justices that will take away your freedom, the same justices that for the Little Sisters of the Poor, the Obama-Biden administration went and persecuted a convent of Catholic nuns, trying to force the Little Sisters to pay for abortion-inducing drugs and others. That is radical, that's extreme. And
please consider what is at stake, friend. This is not JFK's Democrat Party. I would say even Bill Clinton's is that radical.
Yep.
Don't sell your birthright at God-given liberty and everything that comes with it for what? Food stamps that buy you a bowl of lentils. That's pretty much what it is. The book is One Vote Away.
Sergio, thank you very much, and I will say the book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere you get your books. If you want to understand what's happening at the Supreme Court, if you want to understand the critical issues at stake in this election in November, and also if you want to understand what this massive battle over Judge Amy Coney Barrett is all about, this book is, you don't have to be a lawyer to understand it. It explains in clear terms what's going on, and it'll arm you for the discussions. And so I'd encourage you to buy the book. I think you'll enjoy it and learn something at the same time.
Who'd you hire to do the audiobook? You didn't read it, did you?
I did not read it,
Thank
so
you,
it was
I don't want to hear 6 hours of your voice, man. Seriously, I love you, but I don't want to hear 6 hours of your voice, dude.
So we got a voice talent. I don't know the name of the actor, dude, who read the audiobook, but somebody did.
Big hug to you. Thank you, Ted.
All right. Take care, Sergio.
Ted Cruz, our senator from Texas.